Good morning. Some of you will have heard of Tim Noakes' central governor theory, and I just wanted to make a fairly short video outlining three things really. What it is, why I think it's a relatively sound idea, and also how it might extend beyond physiological fatigue to psychological fatigue. But it's in preparation for a few videos because I've been thinking about this and doing a bit of research and reading on this over the last couple of days. So Professor Tim Noakes, South African professor, is actually quite a controversial character. But he proposed in the 90s this idea that fatigue, when we're working out, going for a run, lifting weights, and we come to an abrupt stop, we can't go any further, is to do with something called the central governor theory. So objectively, fatigue isn't something that we really understand a huge amount of. And I think the central governor theory is actually a pretty sound theory. The idea is that within us we have a limiter, so that we can't go too far beyond a certain point before our body shuts down. Morning, mate. Thank you, Eddie. So a little bit like a car engine that might have a limiter to stop the engine blowing up before it goes above a certain point in terms of speed or revs. The central governor theory proposes the same idea, that we have a set of hormones within us that stops us going beyond the point of no return and basically running ourselves into the ground and our heart stopping. So logically, I think this is a pretty sound theory because I like the idea that essentially what enables somebody to go faster or go longer or lift heavier isn't actually their fitness, it's the fact that their limits have been raised and that their body allow them to go a little bit deeper than somebody that's less fit. Basically their cut-off switches are set to a higher position. As your heart and your lungs get stronger, those limitations on what will end you, what will bring you to an abrupt stop, have all been raised, the threshold's higher. So I think Professor Tim Noakes has said some pretty wacky and crazy ideas over the years, but this one sits kind of in my threshold of understanding and makes some level of sense. We all experience it as we get fitter, we're able to go faster. So those threshold limiters are set to a higher threshold. Makes total sense to me. So there are several things that I was thinking about with this, which we'll talk about in the coming days. The idea of the human that's able to overcome those and kind of lift the car off of their trapped offspring is a famous one, but actually extends to an idea that one of my master's students was talking about how equipment or a location musically, creatively, can actually have an impact on us, even though in essence they're inanimate objects. So then I began to wonder, and I've been reading recently about whether there's something like a psychological central governor theory. The physiological one makes sense. Don't go above this certain limit. I'm going to restrict the ability of your muscles to this point to keep you alive. If there's some kind of psychological parallel, is there a psychological or an emotional central governor theory? And that's what I've been kind of looking into over the last couple of days. And as we know, all these things are inherently linked anyway: psychology, physiology, physics, the way the world works, the way we work, the way we think, they're all intertwined. So I'm going to be doing a bit more digging on this. I'll put a link below to the central governor theory so you can have a read up on this, because I think it's fascinating, it can be quite liberating, and we'll go from there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to enjoy this amazing run along the coast path. Goodbye.